Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into an ancient Buddhist text, one of the most vivid and honestly terrifying accounts of the afterlife you'll ever come across. We're going to follow a soul's journey through judgment, punishment, and finally a chance at release, all from the perspective of the Buddha himself. So the source we're looking at today is the Sutra of the Iron City Niraya. This thing it's just incredible. It lays out the entire cosmic machinery of karma in really meticulous detail. Basically, it answers the question, what happens when your bad deeds finally catch up with you after you die? I mean, it's the ultimate question, right? What happens after we die? This text doesn't just ponder it, it gives a full-throated, powerful answer. It paints this incredibly detailed picture of a journey that kicks off the very second life ends, all witnessed through the crystal-clear vision of the Buddha. All right, so let's get right into that vision, because it really sets the stage for everything else. This quote here, it's not just some pretty poetry. No, this is a declaration. It's the Buddha saying he has absolute, total knowledge of every single soul's path. Okay, so before we jump into the hells, and trust me, we're getting there, the text first has to establish just how vast the Buddha's perspective is. It uses some really cool metaphors to help us wrap our heads around his ability to see the karmic path of every single soul, past, present, and future. The sutra calls this his heavenly eye, and the metaphors it uses are just perfect. Imagine being on a super high tower, seeing everything happening in thousands of homes below, or being in a boat on perfectly clear water, seeing every single fish and pebble, or, and I love this one, holding up a clear bead and seeing every colored thread running through it. The point is, from that vantage point, there are absolutely no secrets. And this is where it gets really interesting. The text goes from this huge cosmic scale and then just zooms right in, down to the most personal moment imaginable, the judgment of a single soul. So, for anyone who lived what the text calls a life of evil, and that means being ungrateful to your parents, disrespectful to elders and teachers, just generally ignoring the rules, your first stop after death is a face-to-face meeting with King Yama, and you can't get out of this one. Now, pay attention to the questions Yama asks. This is key. He's not grilling the soul on some complicated religious doctrine or obscure sins. He's asking about the basic, universal facts of being human. Did you see your parents working to raise you? Did you see sick people, old people, dead bodies, criminals getting punished? He's basically asking, hey, were you even paying attention while you were alive? And when you're faced with those undeniable truths, what can you even say? The soul has zero excuses left. All its defenses are just gone. The only thing left is to confess. Yeah, I was foolish. I was arrogant. In the face of pure reality, all the lies we tell ourselves just crumble. And here we get to the core message. Absolute 100% personal responsibility. Yama lays it out crystal clear. This isn't on your parents, it's not on heaven, it's not the government's fault. You did this, and so you will face the consequences. It's that simple. So once that verdict is in, the soul is led away to begin its sentence. And this is where we enter a place of torment so intense, it's hard to even imagine. It's called Niraya. Now, it's really important to get this part right. In this view, Niraya isn't hell because some angry god is punishing you. It's way more impersonal, almost like a law of nature, like gravity. It's just the natural, unavoidable result of your own bad actions. You're there until the karmic debt is paid off. Period. And the scale of the suffering here? It's designed to be completely mind-boggling. The first stop is this huge iron city, thousands of miles across. Inside, there's a giant cauldron. And, yep, souls get thrown in there to be boiled for tens of millions of years. A number so big, it's basically impossible to grasp. But it's not just physical pain. Oh no. There's an extra layer of psychological torture. After an incredibly long time, a gate on one side of the city swings open. The souls thinking, finally, escape. They all rush towards it. And just as they get there, bam, it slams shut. Then it happens on another side and another. It's this constant, cruel cycle of offering a tiny bit of hope and then just snatching it away. So after what feels like a literal eternity in that iron city, you'd think the journey's over, right? Wrong. It's just getting started. Now the soul moves on to the next stage. Kind of like a tour through a series of other, more specialized hells, each one designed for a specific kind of karmic cleansing. And these descriptions are graphic. I mean, truly visceral. There's a hell where you walk on burning ground that instantly burns your feet away, just for them to regrow so you have to take another step. Another where you're eaten by insects with iron beaks. You're forced to climb mountains made of knives, and even have molten copper poured right down your throat. It's intense. Okay, so after going through all of that for tens of millions of years, you have to think, okay, I'm done. The ordeal is over. I've paid my dues. I survived the unsurvivable. But no, in maybe the cruelest twist of all, the text says the soul gets sent right back to the very beginning, back to the Iron City to do the whole cycle all over again. It really drives home just how heavy bad karma is and how you just can't escape the consequences. So I know this all sounds incredibly bleak. And, well, it is. But the sutra doesn't just leave us in despair. This whole thing is a teaching, remember? And the whole point of a teaching like this is to show you that there is a way out. There's a path to freedom. So after eons and eons of this torment, when the karmic debt is finally truly paid in full, the souls get one last meeting with King Yama, the same guy who sent them there. But this time, he's not there to judge. He's there to give advice. And Yama's final advice, it maps perfectly back to his first questions. This is really the moral of the whole story. He's basically saying, look, if you get another shot at being human, remember this place. Be filial to your parents, respect the elderly and spiritual people, obey the law, and purify your actions, your words, and your thoughts. Yama really drives this point home too. He makes it clear that the sins that feel so small and light on earth, a little bit of disrespect here, a selfish act there, they result in suffering that is unbelievably great and heavy in the afterlife. The scales are tipped way more than you'd think. And that is the ultimate takeaway. This whole horrifying description of Buddhist hell isn't just to scare you, it's to teach you. The final message is actually one of empowerment. It's saying that the power to decide your own fate, to keep those gates to hell closed for you, is entirely in your hands. It's all about how you live your life, right here, right now. So this ancient text with all its wild imagery and its stark warnings, it's so much more than just a dusty old religious story. It's really a deep dive into cause and effect. And it leaves us with a pretty heavy question. If our actions are writing our fate, what story are you writing?